Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Today's video is about Android automation. We have a Java project which we have created using tools like Appium and TestNG to automate some test actions for Android application. We will start by taking a look at a project structure and files, and later we will run the test and see everything in action. All right. So first, let's look at this file, Android test.java. This is our main test file that we are going to run. It has a set of tests in the form of test methods. Each test will have a code that will basically do two things. First, perform some action, and then the verification part. Action means the interaction with the UI element present in the application screen. And verification, here we have created one custom function called verify, where we feed actual and expected values, and we do a comparison to determine if the test passed or failed. And we take screenshot for the failure so that we can include later in the reports. Then we have this file called basetest.java, basetest.java. This is for Android driver setup and teardown purpose. And our main test file, that is Android test.java file class, extends this base class so that all the setup and teardown logic is inherited and available for our test methods without we need to repeat the code over here. Then we have page objects. In the page object, we have this one file called basepage.java. This will contain all the common actions that are used across different pages or screens of the app, right? And then we have page specific object classes. They will inherit the base page class, and these classes represent individual screens or pages that are in the app, like login screen, home screen. These classes have locators and methods that interact with locators, and these are the methods that are actually being called in our main Android test.java file. Okay, and then we have a support folder. Here we have one important file, TestNG listeners, which is actually a listener for TestNG, capturing logs and events as the test run. And at the end of the execution, it will create an HTML report. For that, we are using extend report library. And this report will give us a clear view of the test result, right? And finally, there is a resource folder where we are keeping our APK file that we are going to use to install onto the emulator during our test execution. And also we have this pom.xml file, which is very important for any Maven based Java project. Here we are declaring the libraries we need for our test execution. For example, Appium, that is for automation of Android app, then TestNG, and then we have declared extend report for creating reports, right? And Maven will automatically download these dependencies when we build the project, so we don't have to manually manage the libraries. Now we are ready to move on to the next part, where we will be executing the test in this file called Android test.java, and we'll see how everything comes together in action. Okay, so first we will install the app on the device and verify that the installation was successful. We have verified that the app was installed correctly by checking the app's presence on the device. Next, we will launch the app and check if the home screen appears after launching it. We have verified that app launched successfully and home screen is visible. Okay, in this test, we will simulate a login action by entering the credential and checking if the pop-up appears. Okay, so we have verified that the pop-up is appeared correctly after submitting credential. And now we'll go back to previous screen. Okay, so now we will select a date from the picker and verify if the correct date and alert appears. Perfect. So we have verified that the correct days were selected and the alert appeared with the correct title. Here we will test the back button functionality to return back to the home screen. Yes, so we have verified that back button work as expected and we are returning back to the home screen. Okay, so in this test, we will terminate the app and verify it is no longer running. We have verified that the app was terminated successfully by checking if the launcher is now the current app. Okay, we will uninstall the app and verify if that is no longer installed on the device. So we have confirmed that app was uninstalled successfully by checking its absence on the device. Okay, now in this test, we will install a new app, launch it, and verify that it was successfully launched. We have verified that new app was installed and launched correctly as expected. Okay, next in this test, we will scroll through the apps menu and verify that we can reach to specific items. Okay, so we have verified that scrolling works as expected and that we reach to the correct pages in the app. Next, we will test the drag and drop feature and verify that the drag element changes as expected. Okay, so we verified that the drag and drop functionality worked and that the element was updated correctly. Okay, next in this test, we will perform a long press on the app icon and check if the shortcut container menu appears. Okay, so we have verified the long press successfully displayed the shortcut container, and then we navigated to the app's info page and then open the clock app. Okay, and finally now we are going to test the swipe functionality to navigate the different section of the clock app. Okay, so we have verified that swiping between the sections work as expected, and we check that we are in the correct section each time. Okay, so the test is over, and at the end of this execution, I'll be refreshing the project so I could see the report folder. So as I mentioned earlier, we can see the report being generated at the end of the test, and it says fail, and you can see the whole all the tests starting from installing and all the tests in report. You can expand each test and see the logs of what all action take place and what all verification we have done. Now here is the thing, this test is fail, so we can see why it failed. This was expected and we found this, so there is a string mismatch, and that's the reason the test failed. And we can also look at the screenshot to verify the same. So at the end of this execution, we can generate the comprehensive and detailed test report.